Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this 29th day, Friday. Cannot wait. We got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez backstage. We'll recap last week's program and talk about the biggest games upcoming this week in the NFL. I may even throw a two-part question in there for Carlos and see what he thinks. But first, let's go ahead and hit our only break here, folks, and we'll hit the ground running here in 49 seconds on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. There he is. Nope, there he is. Hey, Carlos.
Yo, what's up? Happy Friday, peoples. How you doing today?
Happy Friday, brother. Hey, listen.
Here we go.
I don't know how much of a Tupac fan you are and everything. We've talked about a lot of rap and stuff over the years. There was an arrest made in the murder of him back in '96. Do you have any thoughts on that arrest? I mean, I've got a lot I could say about it. I've been listening to a lot of interviews with this guy who basically confessed this murder, but he claims to have some type of immunity to get him out of a bunch of drug charges.
Wasn't he a former cop? Are you talking about the former cop?
No. Yeah, well, the former cop set the whole thing up and released that murder rap thing back in 2018. And now the Keefe D, he did interviews with Vlad TV, this guy, and he's done the murder, this former LAPD detective. It's a long story, but basically to get out of a bunch of drug charges, to sitting basically life in prison, he confessed to this murder, claiming to have signed some type of immunity with the federal attorney, district attorney, United States, or something like that. So I don't know how he's being charged now with this murder in Las Vegas. I guess it'll come out later on at some point, but it's a pretty interesting case there. This guy's the only one living that was in that car that night that shot. This is not breaking news. Orlando, remember the fight, the Tyson fight, the footage we've all seen of Tupac and his entourage beating up this guy, Orlando Anderson, over a chain and stuff. He's some kind of connected to the Southside Crips in Compton. And that was on the Vegas tape. A few hours later, this guy and his uncle, who's already in town, and two other guys shoot Tupac and Suge Knight at that red light. The famous BMW there that was shot up. We know, obviously, a week later, Tupac dies on that Friday. But like I said, everybody else is dead. Going back to why it was even put out there while the investigation was started in L.A., because Big E's mom was going to sue the city over it. And so this guy did this total investigation to get rid of a lawsuit with the city of LA that really spun this investigation into getting this guy who admitted that he did it, that he was in the car. He set the whole thing up with his nephew who pulled the trigger, who's died 2 years later. That's basically what happened essentially. So, but he gets out of all these drug charges. This
Right.
KPD guy gets out of all like 25 years. So now you think everything's okay. This guy's sitting here, he's yapping. And now the Vegas PD indicts him today, and he's arrested. So 26 years later, man. That's wild, ain't it?
You just got to keep your head up, son.
Yeah, Pickle says ABC said he was shot with a firearm from the flight outside the event. Yeah, and so it's a wild story. I don't know. Yeah. Corey knows I'm a big Tupac fan. I've been listening to the interviews, some of his older interviews with this Keefe D all day, and I've heard him before. I was just getting recapped on it. So he thought he had some kind of federal immunity. He's sitting there. He wrote a book about it and everything. So I not to take up too much time on the show, but it's a big deal. I mean, we have people talking about it, and
I mean, the most amazing part about that is that people are still talking about it. So
yeah,
Tupac, R.I.P. And we just want to see justice, no matter who it is.
And how late it would be for something like that to happen. So the guy's 60 years old now.
Oh, stop saying ages right now, man.
Yeah, he's 60 years old and basically getting hemmed up. So I wonder how and I listened to the AP press conference with him, with the sheriff's department and the DA just now.
Is this before or after you went on TRL?
TRL.
Remember that?
Voter request law. No, I just don't know why that nobody, and these reporters ain't as good as me, man. Nobody asked them, say, okay, this guy claims to have federal immunity. How do you have the jurisdiction to indict him and stuff like that? You just wondering if this will get thrown out. So
Robert, if you had stayed in Nevada and had your truck there, your news truck there, you would have had the scoop. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And you know what that was weird about all this, everybody? This guy was arrested in Nevada. He moved away from Compton. He's from Compton. He lives in Henderson, Nevada. I used to live in Nevada. I lived out in Laughlin, which is not too far out of Vegas either. I mean, I went to this casino where he got shot in front of Circus, stayed in Circus. Crazy. Yeah. And Pickle says that they just couldn't prove it. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. I want to hear the explanation about the federal immunity and what he signed with this other cop to get out of that other drug charge for that many years. So
it's the way this sounds all like spun around is like the OJ case too, man. There's so many different
it's things. Wild. It's really wild.
Crazy.
And like I said, he's the only one the guy that claims that supposedly that shot Biggie. He's supposedly dead too. So I guess it's live by the sword down.
You bring that up because I'm in New York. I'll find out for you, son.
Yeah, I talked to a bunch when I was living up there. Quite a few people that saw him and met him said he was a cool dude, man, and said he always had that talent. Let's do a quick recap of last week. So Tennessee, Cleveland, man. I told you that line was jacked up for Tennessee. Cleveland beats them 27-3. What's your thoughts on that game, man?
That's good for Deshaun Watson. I was hoping that Tennessee would have, played a better game, but that defense didn't. The thing here's a problem. It doesn't matter if you hang your hat on defense, that don't matter at the end of the day because your team has to score points.
Yeah.
And that right now seems like Tennessee's biggest problem. There's a lot of teams out there that got O-lines that are not as dope as some other teams right now, but those teams score points, right? Right. The Vikings, they had our backup center and they were still scoring like 17 points.
Yeah.
Right? So
and
I don't want to hear this crud from all these teams, all the O-line, bro. Just score points. That's your job. You're on the offense. Find a way to do it. And if you can't do it,
that goes back to having that defensive-minded head coach where your coordinators are not wise enough to put in that type of scheme to manufacture points. And I do want to report some news here. Got a little ahead of myself. the NFL has altered the rules for gambling charges for players who had gambled on non-football on facilities to 4 games. So the Titans, Nick Petit-Frere will be back. He will be reinstated and will be able to play next week. I don't think Tennessee's going to beat Cincinnati either. Sonorsky had his appendix ruptured a few weeks ago. If you get Sonorsky back, you get this kid, he's going to be back, Nick Petit-Frere, and the Lions, who won big last night, they'll get back their wide receiver, Jameis Williams. So I wanted to give everybody a heads up on that. That's huge news for those fans of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, you really going to give Green Bay you was going to give them a fighting chance against the Detroit Lions? I've told you this when we first started talking about Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay, that Green Bay is a black hole of the NFL because they cheat. They've been cheating the whole team, right? With the whole Aaron Rodgers deal, first of all, and then they just come and moving people in and out. And then I told you they wasn't going to do that well picking up LaFleur.
Yeah. Well, they have to rebuild their line too. I mean, this guy Bakhtiari, he's been hurt. They're going to have to replace him. And this Eldon Jenkins, their right tackle, these cats for the Packers, speaking of that, they've been hurt for the last 2 years. So they got a decent team. I think Jordan Love has exceeded my expectations so far. My
man. Okay, so here's the thing. You on a fantasy league, and you had to pick between quarterbacks. You're going to pick Love ahead of Herbert?
Well, pick Herbert. I mean, he's a mega star.
If you take – where would you rank right now Mr. Love?
He's
bottom is his last name.
I mean, off the top of my head, he's probably bottom 3rd, but he's just starting, man. Rodgers.
So was Herbert. Herbert just ain't got people to protect him. Herbert's just starting too.
Yeah.
Ray Allen's in his 3rd season. Come on, man. Why we always got to give these cats this whole? All Green Bay's doing is saving money by keeping him, not because he's good. They could just say that. Look, we're trying to rebuild. We're looking towards the future, and we will someday or another find another quarterback. That's all they got to say.
Well, not to jump too far ahead of everything. That's just we can move on from the Titans from last week. Let's see other games. Okay, Minnesota. Yeah, I thought Minnesota played well. I'll tell you what, though, we talked about Minnesota LA Chargers. That speaking of Herbert, Brandon Staley, I don't know if you caught this, going for it inside his own 27-yard and missing it. I think he gets fired if they lose that game.
Look, we talked about Brandon Staley. We talked that Herbert has the tools. He's like, here's the problem, man. His last name should be Love because they gave him a new contract, right? They gave him a few more tools. His biggest hurt right now is the fact that Eckler's not there as his safety net. That's his biggest hurt right now. Once you put that guy back in the game, it changes everything. Like, because you don't know if Eckler's going to run the ball. You don't know if he's going to catch the ball. You don't know if he's going to go back 6 yards and then go back up 10 yards. So that changes everything. So right now, Staley's lucky that one of his best players is out. Herbert's not lucky because that player's out. He's supposed to come back next week. Everybody who's like on the Chargers offense is praying for that because I told you what I tell you about that wide receiver core. Williams is off the field again with a little bit of whatever mishap, and then all you gotta do is Keenan Allen. All you gotta do is hit him side of the head, like really good. And
Allen 25 catches last 2 games. I mean, he's killing it, and this Keelan Moore offense for the Chargers. I think Brandon Staley's just not their guy, but Herbert is a mega talent, man. I mean, he's really doing good. Eckler will be back at some point.
But you see the game and how it changes when Eckler's in the lineup, for sure.
It's good to have that drop-off guy there. And, also you want to keep that defense honest, man. But on the flip side, look at Minnesota. everybody's saying Kirk Cousins to the Jets. Would you trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets? Would you trade for Kirk Cousins?
The Jets right now have one of the best. They have a top 10 defense, right? So all they're missing is offense, and they was hoping maybe to kind of like get into a playoff bid, and then they need a quarterback. Here's the problem: if you get Cousins, right, and Aaron Rodgers comes back, that's just all going to blow up, right?
Yeah,
So
it's an idiotic statement there.
It's not idiotic. It's just an opportunity. It's an opportunity more
for Minnesota. I'd love to trade Kirk Cousins, but if I'm the Jets, I don't want to. Kirk Cousins is not that good. You don't have an offensive line either. Dwayne Brown's on IR. They don't know when he's going to be back, if he comes back. That left tackle.
You have to look at what Kirk Cousins will be working with.
Yeah,
and Kirk Cousins is accurate and 20 to 30 yards better than any quarterback the Jets had since 1989. Yeah. So like Kirk Cousins is not he's not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. And right now that's all they need because they have that talent that's young and fast.
You think he's got a quick enough release to get past their offensive line woes?
I don't think anybody has
to be able to learn that system like that. I don't understand what the school of thought behind that is. Does Cousins have a relation to the quarterback coach or something? I didn't see anything there.
But Cousins is smart though, man.
Only thing I know about Cousins is he's in the last year of his contract.
You talk. Why you talk this guy down? I mean, he's a workaholic. Cousins.
Well, if he was an athlete like a Lamar Jackson or somebody, and get rid of the ball quick, that would make more sense than getting a guy like Cousins.
You don't need more athletes on the Jets team.
Well, you need somebody to loot that pass rush because their line stinks.
I mean, okay, here's the reality. If you get Kirk Cousins,
he's just going to get blasted and probably
he's more likely to get injured than he is to make the playoffs. I could give you that. But he'll make it interesting. He'll keep the game. So
you're one of those guys. That's why I asked you the question,
I mean, I think any quarterback right now will do better than what we. And I never wanted this kid on the team. I said from day one they should have traded that pick.
Call.
Right? Everybody's like, well, he BYU this and that, and like, my man ain't. I mean, he looks good in a Jets jersey, but we don't pay for that.
Yeah, Joe Douglas, he dropped the ball there, man. And listen, I brought this up yesterday. What if they do lose again, Minnesota? I think they're going to beat Carolina. But what if they're like 1-6? Okay, you've got Justin Jefferson. People asking him about his future there. He's in the last year of his rookie deal. You could get 3 first-round picks, perhaps. Jefferson's arguably the best receiver in the country. Would you trade him and get that draft capital? They're going to get another quarterback anyways, and just start over like they traded Diggs and got Jefferson? Or would you say no, Jefferson's too good? You want to keep him with the new quarterback they're going to draft anyways? I say get the draft capital and not. This guy's going to demand $30+ million a year.
I know you guys up there in that division are going to be upset at me, and I'm just going to be real with you. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, but the most positive thing for you to do would be to get that draft capital and start all over because you're in a division that's not as competitive. And the Detroit Lions been doing it for the last 4 seasons. They're just now starting to reap the benefit, and that benefit isn't that great because they dropped the ball in a few trades anyway. I'm still kind of like, I don't know if they should have traded Stafford, but whatever. I don't think Goff his stats look good, but the team winning is not comparable to what.
Well, they're in the driver's seat to win the North right now.
Yeah, I mean
they're going to make a playoff run.
So that's what I'm saying. That's my argument. Is like you can do all that, you can rebuild and still be competitive and be a playoff team if you put your cards in the right place. You know what I'm saying? But if you just go wasting these draft picks and not building yourself and building in.
So would you keep Jefferson going back to that, or would you trade him?
I'd trade both. If you're gonna get rid of Cousins, you might as well get rid of Jefferson.
Yeah. Okay, so you agree with me then? Yeah, that's what I was telling the audience, man. Look what happened to Kansas City when they traded Tyreek Hill. You know, they got another ring. And, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Once you get that ring, it was worth it. Even though I know Miami's killing it right now.
Minnesota and Green Bay, because they're in that division, they always do that. They always manipulate the draft picks because they don't want to sign people because it's hard to get players to go there and play, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's a tough division.
$30 million. I think you could trade him to the Colts or somebody. Your Giants. Somebody would be dumb enough to take him. Just
they would.
Because he sells jerseys.
They eat that up. They eat that up right now. They get excited because they can sell another jersey that doesn't have a Jones on it.
Okay. So that was the games we talked about in the NFL last week. Do you have any
70
thoughts?
burger, bro?
Huh?
How about that 70 burger?
70. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that game here in a little bit because they play Buffalo later, and I want to get your prediction on that game.
All right.
Quick. We're recapping last week, folks. We're going to get to games this week. Notre Dame, Ohio State. That quarterback for Notre Dame, his stock totally plummeted with me, folding like a cheap suit. Coach is a little young. They'll have 10 men on the field the last two plays there. Young head coach said he didn't want to get a penalty for rushing 11 guys out there. What kind of excuse is that? That's a 37-year-old head coach there, the Notre Dame head coach. What's your thoughts on that game? Notre Dame, Ohio State, big game last week.
Ohio State was not the better team, but they are the ones that won. And small little things by Notre Dame that shouldn't have happened. Clean it up, and maybe you're a playoff team, but on the bottom tier, because you can't make decisions. You can't coach like that and be in the top of the playoff field and think you're gonna get, because if your team plays well, fine, but if they make a mistake, that's detrimental. That's more detrimental to any team than their, because the whole game was. And then another thing is that Notre Dame was.
It was a great game for a 17-14 game. Yeah, Sam Hartman is the player. This guy with 1,000 starts in the college game, and he just looks like he was playing scared all night. I think that really hurt his stock, man, in the NFL.
Yes,
and Marcus Freeman, he showed it. He showed his youth there. That's the head coach there.
Unfortunately, and I feel bad because my co-host Keith, who's currently on vacation, I told him, and he thought that Notre Dame would be like in the top of the heap in the playoffs.
Yeah, he thought they were going to go on a win. I was with him for this particular game. I'm glad I took that 3.5 though. I got it early.
It's college is one of those tough games to figure out anyways.
The handicap,
I dropped on my pick for Colorado, and I want to explain myself in a few minutes.
Yeah. I mean that was the other college game. What's your thoughts? Obviously they went into a buzzsaw. I knew Oregon would win. I didn't think they would kill them like that.
Right. So my idea and what I was watching for Colorado was the fact that all these 70 to 80 kids that are walking in there are all competing for a draft status. So I thought they was going to play up to the challenge and play up to competition. I didn't think they was going to, and not to say that Oregon is they're not a great team. They're a good team, but they're not great because you see them in the last 4 years and how many times they've been in a championship game.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But so they're a good team, and you could tell they're a good team. You could tell they have a lot of depth. But I was just hoping to see some competition. I was hoping to see that, keep it close. And that was naive of me, I guess. But I did say that I didn't think Colorado would win more than 6 or 7 games, maybe 7 or 8 games and get a bowl game.
But like you said, it's the depth issue. Even with those transfers, you still have to develop depth, and
but I mean,
they don't have it.
But you got guys that were 5-star, 4-star players. Like you got a lot of them.
Yeah,
right.
He did.
So I think in today's game with the transfer portal, that right there goes to show that just because they're rated high, they need to be on the field a lot more. So, And a team
Yeah.
like Colorado is the best example, right? You could try to build a team, but it won't. You can't build a championship team. You can't buy one. You gotta. You gotta build
I
it
thought they would win maybe 7-8 games. I didn't think they was going to go undefeated. I don't know who thought that. I guess some of the media.
But I just wanted to see a competitive game against Oregon, and they didn't even show up. And I feel bad because the way that it went. So these kids got to wake up, man. They're 5-star, 4-star, and their stock and draft can drop as well. Now, on the flip side, Bo Nix, who's like 38, like almost my age, been in college forever. He should be in the NFL.
Chris
right?
Winkie, like you said.
Yeah, like he should be in the NFL and maybe a backup, right? Maybe. I mean,
he'll get drafted.
Yeah,
he's
shows
about
he
like
has some
Cartman,
kind of
though. He's not
stability.
that talented to me.
No. Don't get me wrong. I didn't even say he's a top quarterback pick. I just said he should be in the NFL as a backup.
He might be like Brock Purdy for all we know.
Yeah,
don't look. I'm not very impressed with him, but it's hard to tell, man.
Would you give him the Heisman?
No. I think that Penix guy, it's his to lose right now.
Thank you.
From Washington, I think you called that too, and
I think we're on the same wavelength on that because there's this Heisman talk about Bo Nix, and I'm like, Bo Nix is like 37, man.
We'll be rapper heaven with USC coming in. Yeah, there will be a lot of rappers there.
Here's the problem, Pickles. The problem with USC is that they're as problematic as Colorado. I think they're actually a better matchup for Colorado than.
Yeah, we can talk that game if you want to. Now, I mean, it's the number one pick is going to be coming if he comes out. Caleb Williams at Colorado. They'll give USC a little bit of run early. I think USC will pull away from them. I wouldn't touch that spread though.
No,
because it could go either way, man.
Robert, you know this for a fact. I don't have West Coast bias, but I am getting tired of Ohio State University and USC's quarterback line lineage and their performance in the NFL and the media about them before they get into the NFL has been just overhyped. So can we just pump the brakes a little bit and relax on some of these kids, man? Because at the end of the day, they're just kids, and let's raise them up when they're already in the NFL and doing something, Like
that's true, man.
I mean, like, he's gonna be like, no. Look what happened too.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell on one thing I'm picking up though in the college game. You got to make decisions quickly. That's how you judge a quarterback, how quick he gets rid of the football.
I don't know. There was a lot of guys that got rid of football really fast, and they wasn't that.
I mean, I remember thinking, this guy. I know he is an Ohio State guy, but he does get rid of the ball quick. And that was C.J. Stroud, and so far been proven. He has 900 something yards, no interceptions. He seems to be the best of this rookie class so far. And he's more durable than a Bryce Young, even though Bryce Young looks good,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Richardson got hurt.
But Bryce Young's already got hurt,
Yeah, Bryce Young got hurt. Richardson's out.
Now he's going to be back, Richardson, but he had a concussion. I mean, that offense running right into the defense like that.
Well, he got that heart that he thinking he can just put that on his shoulder pad and it's going to take him places. But you got to be careful with that.
Well, I mean that's Shane Steichen's offense, and they run the same thing in Philadelphia, which I think is ridiculous. I understand running the quarterback; that's fine. Just don't run the quarterback into the teeth of the defense, where he's putting himself in harm's way.
Hey, look, when Randall Cunningham ran like crazy, nobody told him to stop. When Michael Vick ran like crazy, nobody told him to stop.
But these are called running plays, man.
Nobody
I'm trying to find this quote this guy said. I got this off of Twitter last week when Colorado was playing when they were playing who was it? Colorado State. This guy talked about all these rappers in there. He said, "Man, it's like Yo MTV Raps in there." And it's a really funny quote this guy off of Twitter, and I think he's got a pretty interesting. I thought he was a personality but it's just some random dude. It's funny as I'll get it. If I can get it, I'll play it real quick. But yeah, I don't think I have it now.
But what I like about Colorado is that they're not what they were last year, and they're making the
yeah. I mean, they were 1-11 last year. He's going to have to be patient. My thing is, he'll probably stay next year. I don't think his son's going to come out. Travis Hunter cannot come out, and I think that he will. I think that
They'll be all right. Look,
I think he'll stay there one more year. He's going to be 2 and gone instead of 1 and gone.
They're going to be okay. Colorado will be all right. They're just they're just different.
And they got a lot of free advertisement too.
You got to get the NIL money, man. You got to pay the guys.
Well, I'm just saying they've gotten free advertisement for what Deion's done. I mean, all these interviews. He's got some businesses that's made money in Boulder. I mean, he's really good. So if he walks away, he's definitely it's been worth the investment of Colorado, if you ask me. Even if he does leave after 2 years, which that's what I think will happen.
Then they made $80 million off the one game alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I think I might have deleted that tweet.
I think they bought 3 Buffaloes to replace the one that got a hurt leg when he came out the first time. That's a lot of steak up there, son.
So you had to do this, son.
That bison meat.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't find it. But either way.
You got to keep it organic, Robert.
There. Clemson, FSU, they look like they're the best college team in the country. Definitely got the best resume, knocking out Clemson. We both called that one right. What's your thoughts on finally getting over the schneid there and beating Clemson?
I'm gonna say that that defense at Clemson is not as stout
as it used to be.
And I think they put too much emphasis on replacing Mr. Lawrence down there and trying to make the offense go uppity, and they should have been thinking about the defense. And I will say this, there have been a few players from Clemson that are making noise in the NFL that are from the defensive end. Or defensive side, I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse nobody.
Yeah. And their coordinator is now the Oklahoma head coach. I'm trying to get his name here. Brett Venables, who I put. He was Tupac as far as I'm considered. As far as coaching career as a head coach, I was RIP in this guy, and now he's brought in this young quarterback. They've had some big wins. They may give Texas a run for their money in a couple of weeks. Venables has actually kind of gotten things squared away. They play in a few weeks the Red River rivalry game.
That's gonna be big.
But it's hurt Clemson. Plus Clemson going back to Dabo, he's rejected the transfer portal. He's rejected NIL. You've got to change with the times. You got to be left behind, and it looks like that's what's happening to Dabo Swinney, the guy that looked like maybe the next Nick Saban after he won 2 national championships in a close, period there.
Yeah, and look, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's not him rejecting it. It's his players rejecting Clemson. It's the fact that they're in that division, and the players are like, you know what? We on TV, but we could be in a better situation. Like when you're in college and you get that idea that, hey, you could have a little bit more money if you go to a better school or you go to a team that's actually winning a little bit more in a bigger and better division, then you're going to be like, it's an opportunity you can't miss. And all you got to do is take that opportunity and run with it. It's not Dabo necessarily. It's Dabo. If he says, I don't want to get more guys, fine. That's him. But the fact that his guys are leaving his camp to go somewhere else, that's a bigger problem.
Yeah, he's going to have to adjust.
Yeah, so he got to be like this guy in Kentucky. What's his name? He said
Mark Stoops.
No, the basketball guy. He was
Calipari.
You want one and done? Let's do this. We'll pick up the best recruits and get you into the NBA tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Calipari. He got to do a Calipari at that side. So.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And now it looks like Miami and Florida State. I think they play at some point this year, don't they?
Sometime. Miami got to watch out. They're going to lose more NIL money.
But, Miami's undefeated. Florida State's undefeated. The ACC kind of looking good, I
mean, that's all fine. I mean, that Texas Baylor game.
Yeah, they played on November 11th. They will play Miami. Florida State's. That's going to be interesting, man. I forgot they're still number 5, even though Georgia's still number 1.
That's not going to move because of a few things there. So
yeah, that interesting game there. Okay, is Alabama back? They beat Ole Miss, beat Lane Kiffin.
Okay, my question is
that spread.
Is Ole Miss a team that you got to beat?
Well, they've hung in with Alabama before, and that's true. Maybe Ole Miss just wasn't that good this year. Maybe it is just the gas bag of Lane Kiffin just overhyping his team, and maybe Alabama. But Alabama, that is a confidence builder for this team. They've got some big games coming up, man. I mean, God, they got LSU, A&M, Auburn, who plays. By the way, that'll be a bit interesting test. Auburn plays Georgia at home. Now, I don't think they'll win. But I'll be curious. That's somewhat of a rivalry, too. They play pretty often.
Yeah, and that LSU game last week was tight for LSU.
Yes.
They got to clean up a few things still. I don't know. It's going to come down to the nitty-gritty for the SEC because these teams, they're like they don't look like they're going to peak. They look like they're just going to stay the same.
Quarterback play in the SEC is not what I thought it would be.
No, man. I hate to say this, but the parody is coming quick, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true, man. Okay. All right. Oh, you know what? I got caught up in that. I got caught up in that Tupac stuff. I didn't even get your thoughts on the Damian Lillard trade, brother. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel I'm gonna say this, and we talked about it before. Yep. Ayton should have been sent away a long time ago.
Okay, so you like that facet? Yeah. DeAndre Ayton will be with Portland now, part of the 3-team trade.
Yeah, I'm glad that his agent made the decision to make sure he got out of that mess that they had down there in Phoenix.
Yeah,
all they did was made an opportunity for them to actually maybe even make it to the playoffs. I mean, when was the last time Lillard was in the playoffs? Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Can he play 102 whatever games they play?
Yeah. Well, they did the McCollum experiment with Lillard didn't work out.
That's another thing. Like they put him in the side with Giannis. Giannis is, of course, the premier player on that team. But then, what's his name? He's not young either.
Lopez?
No, the guy with the always wears a band and said, what's his name? I'm sorry.
Are you talking about for Milwaukee?
Yeah. The number 2 player.
Middleton?
Yeah, he's not a young guy. So you got what they essentially did was they got older fast, like really fast. So and now they're more injury prone than they are playoff.
Yeah, yeah. Middleton is 32 now.
Yeah, man. Like now
and then Lopez is 35. That's my only issue there.
Other
than that, it's a better fit than Miami, in my opinion. What do you think about Lillard going to Milwaukee versus Miami?
I don't want to sound like that Lillard is not a good player or a great player because he was a great player, but I think he could be a good player, but I don't think his fit would have been on any of those teams as a starter. And I say that in a sense where this feels like a rehash of what's this guy's name of Chris Paul, right?
Oh, okay.
Like
now, he's only 33.
Yeah,
Paul's like 37.
I mean, how many games was he able to play in the last 3 seasons? Like
Lillard. I think a lot of that was them shutting him down to save him. Case they wanted to trade him. I think he's been talked about for trade the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, but still, and that's the reason he was trade bait too. So That's the reason he didn't.
Well, he just wanted out of there. I tell you what, man. I think Milwaukee's way better than Miami. He can play off of Giannis. They can have that two-man game like Jamal Murray and of course Joker.
In 7 games, who wins that? Milwaukee and the Heat. In 7 games, who wins that?
Against who? Denver?
Milwaukee and the Heat. Who wins that game?
Oh, I think Milwaukee. I mean, it's going to be between Milwaukee and Boston. You know, Boston, they got a new assistant head coach there, and Sam Cassell. They've got Porzingis. Okay.
Oh God.
I'm not sure about Phoenix. Everybody's real high on Phoenix.
You and I feel like
Nurkic don't play that many games either. 40, 50 games. I mean, that's the guy they got for Ayton. I think Ayton should have worked out with Vogel, because Vogel, the new head coach for Phoenix, is good with bigs. So I think Phoenix might have got the raw end of the deal there. Pickles thinks he'll get the ring this year. I think they have if they're healthy, they have more than a good chance to win this year. Milwaukee. That's a big if, though.
I don't like the fact that they got older fast. Like, there's no depth. You got good players, but you remember what I said? If you're 8 deep, you're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, listen to Lillard's games. You know, the media overreacted to Lillard's health issues. From 2019 to last year, he played even the year before that, 80 games, 66 games, 67 games. He got hurt in 21 and 22. He did play 29. And then last year he played 58. I feel like he could have played in the 60s. That is a lot better than some of the other players, than your LeBrons or your Anthony Davises of the world.
Yeah, the difference is that he was in a team that they were paying him, and he was a star player. That's the difference. When you're a star player like him, and the Blazers, they were depending on him day in and day out, like they depend on Giannis. You have to be on the court, man. Like, if you were the second or third star on the team, that's different. Then you could kind of get away with not being on the bench and getting some time off. But he wasn't.
Well, this year he won't have that. They'll pick up some bench players as it goes along.
Yeah,
but this is probably like a 2-year deal. This is win now. When the Pickle says get the ring this year. The goal for Milwaukee is to win right now. When Boston fired Grady Little in baseball, the manager, in 2003, and brought in Terry Francona, it was to win the World Series in 2004. Now, they did. When the Rams went and got Matthew Stafford, it was not to get to the playoffs because they traded away. It was to win that next year. Of course, they did. You know, so I remember they had the 1 seed, Milwaukee did, and got upset by Miami. Miami.
The way basketball is played today, I don't feel like this was a good move for them, but they need, like you said, they got to do a better job now filling out that rest of that roster, because why not give up that guy, Middleton? I would have gave him up like in a minute. Like, I would have just.
Well, they gave up Holiday, who's in his 30s. So
yeah, that guy too. Like, I would have got rid of.
You're saying they need to get younger.
Of course, because all the teams are going to play are young. All the teams are going to give him headaches.
It's going to be hard. I'm curious to see how they would match up against Denver.
You know who I want to see? I want to see the Milwaukee Bucks play Detroit Pistons, and I want to see how they're going to hang with those kids.
Oh yeah, well they'll mob them guys. Those kids look great in the regular season. They always get smoked in the playoffs.
I'm just saying, like, those teams are young. They're not, they got at least they're competitive, right? But
yeah,
do you want to really see another Chris Paul situation where I got a knee strain?
Yeah, now Golden State, though, that's going to be a disaster for Paul there. That's turned into the AARP2 team as well. Okay, moving to this week, man.
Let's start doing some Aflac commercials. Aflac.
Exactly. Okay, so we did the recap here. We're in Nashville. The Titans will play. I'm in Nashville. The Titans will play Cincinnati. Cincinnati's with Joe Burrows 3-0 against Tennessee. as a starting quarterback here. He's had Tennessee's number. The problem with Tennessee is Peter Sonorski's not going to play. Trayvon Burks will not play. The wide receiver will play. Hopkins, the older guy, he'll play. But we've seen the problems there. And Joe Burrow's got that calf injury. But I still feel like Cincinnati will probably win this game because Sonorski's out and they can't get back that Farik guy at right tackle. You saw how bad their line looked last week. Totally shut down.
Yeah, but
Cleveland.
The Cincinnati are not the Browns.
I'm thinking probably 20-13, something like that.
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
It's going to be a close game. It's going to be another ugly game. I'll say 21-17, and I'll take the Titans at home. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, well, that would be huge. Man, if they could pull that off, that would be absolutely. Now, I'll say this. Now, Jeffrey Simmons could knock out. He could knock Joe Burrow out of the game. Then you're near going against the backup, and then that's eye for an eye there. But with Tennessee with their line problems, man.
I think Tannehill is a bigger problem than their line. But
Pickle says they'll mug the Titans. I agree. Cincinnati's favorite, even though Cincinnati did play Monday night, and it's a short week. That's something. But then again, or Cincinnati did, yeah. Cleveland did the week before, and of course they dominated Tennessee.
It helped though. It helped them because they wanted to get back off this. They want to get off the Snead. You know what I'm saying?
Get off the Schneid. They were really irritated. They knew they gave that game away.
Yeah, they play with heart, which is rare sometimes.
Yeah. Now, staying in the state of Ohio, Cleveland, Baltimore. Boy, you didn't see Baltimore losing to the Colts last week, did you?
All I saw was a bunch of freaking field goals.
That's a typical Baltimore game, man.
He had like 6 field goals over 50 yards or 5 or whatever he had. Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, it's just.
Tucker actually missed one, didn't he? From Baltimore, that kicker. He never misses, man.
Yeah, I'll give it up to Gay. He did a great job kicking the ball. He deserves every little, celebration. But come on, man. What kind of game was that? That kick. And it's more than every kick he made was more than 50 yards. That's the crazy part. It wasn't that the defense didn't keep them from. It was the fact that if 50 yards was good enough for him to kick. Come on.
That's true, man.
That's true. That's why that's a big deal. And that's what people have to understand. If any team would be able to do that, it would have been the Colts because of the kicker that they had.
Yeah.
So you gotta don't be like, the Colts, they beat up on the Ravens. No, the Ravens played defense. They backed them up, but it was still close enough for that kicker to
some
make
good throws.
So it's
they had a good running game going.
I saw that. It reminded me of when they had when the Raiders had Janikowski.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where they were, they put him out on the field and he'd kick a field goal no matter how far it was. It was like, what the. It was crazy.
Yeah, the Ravens, their left tackle's doubtful this week. Here's my thing, though. They play Cleveland, and Watson's a little banged up, too. He's barely practiced all week. Now, if Watson don't play, I think Baltimore wins that game. If Watson plays, I definitely like Cleveland. Cleveland will probably get after Lamar, though, because their left tackle is doubtful, too, for the Ravens. And Myles Garrett and that Cleveland defense, they got the best defense in the league statistically in every category.
Points. They got to score points. And in the last 3 games, the Browns,
it'll be a boring game.
the Browns haven't been able to get those to score as much as they should with the opportunity that they've had, even against the Titans.
They'll have a rookie quarterback. Cleveland will be this Darrell Green Thompson guy or whatever. The guy they got from he had a good preseason though.
What did that come for? You had a good preseason, Robert. You look good during the preseason, man.
Yeah, but you're going against that. Even though the Ravens defense is banged up, I mean they are banged. Doran Thompson Robertson had a really good camp. But this is a different animal going against the Ravens. This is not the preseason. This ain't no disco. This is LA. Make me think about that Sheryl Crow song. All I want to do is have some fun. But
this will not be a fun game, though. This will not be a fun. This is
one of those. No. This will be like watching the Jets and the Patriots last week. That's like a really high scoring baseball team.
What did I tell you about that? I told you that was.
I said take the under.
Yeah, and the Jets almost pulled it off on a Hail Mary.
That is true. And it didn't work. So I mean, I like the Browns in that game. Who do you like in that one?
I think the Baltimore needs to win, and I think they're going to do it. Like,
you think? Okay. By the way, you're up 1-0. You were up 3-0, but I caught you. I caught you from behind, but you still got the lead. For the record, you're still leading there. I like Cleveland, and you like Baltimore. I like Cincinnati, Mr. Ohio here, and you like
Tennessee,
and you like the Titans. Pickle says Stefanski could mess up a free meal. Yeah, he beat up on Tennessee, but he did lose that.
Stefanski had to do nothing. That defense showed up to play.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay.
That Tannehill all smelling green grass.
Okay, Miami and Buffalo. I think this is the game of the week, man.
Oh.
So like you said earlier, Miami 70 points against Denver. Buffalo beat the crap out. I didn't think they would beat the Commanders like that.
No, and you know what happened is that the Buffaloes have seen that offense a lot, man. They played the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's the same kind of offense that they're used to seeing. Same kind of scheme.
That is true. So, they play them every year in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
they played them last year. That's a good point, man.
And also they're running
going around the horn. I'd give you a point for that.
Beep, 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 beep. That was a scheme they ran that they used to see him with the pretty much a rookie quarterback if he was.
Yeah.
So
Sam Howell.
Yeah,
but he may get clobbered by the Philadelphia front seven this week.
I heard that he was in, like they mentioned the last night on the game after the game, the post game, that he's in the running to get as many sacks as Carr, a few more sacks and get sacked more than Carr, and when he was at Houston.
Who's
David
that?
Carr.
Jalen Carter. Or Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Oh, yeah.
That's how much he's been sacked this season.
Yeah. Buffalo really got to him. I'll tell you what, this game has been, I picked it yesterday. I've been doing points against the spread. I started this new segment on Thursday or over and unders. That's one of the games I really like to go over 53.5. Look how close that game was. Remember Skylar Thompson, the third string quarterback last year, went up to Buffalo. Buffalo only wins by 3. They only win by 3. I like that other running back that Miami's got also. What's his name? Akeem or something like that. Devon Atchin from Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. Got a few touchdowns last week. Very fast guy.
Yes.
With Raheem Mostert. By the way, Jalen Waddle from Miami will be back too. I actually like Miami Pickles to get the close win there. 34-28. Miami gets the win. Rare, very rare win over Buffalo.
I will say that Miami wins, and this is going to be like 27-21. I think the defenses both are going to smack each other up a little bit. I think it'll be close. I don't think they're going to score that many points. I mean, but when I say
you think the defenses are going to really show up?
I think so. They have to. Somebody's got to slow down Miami, and somebody got to slow down Allen.
And John Rostano likes Buffalo too, by the way.
So I don't think it'll be a close game, man. I feel like Miami will probably take this one. I want to say like 34-21, but I'm gonna keep it close just because when you play fast,
it's a divisional rival game.
It's a divisional rivalry, and man, let me tell you something. And I don't know if people watch football like that, but there's always a lot of turnovers when the game's fast like that.
Yeah,
like Allen will fumble the ball or make an interception. Miami's, Waddle and them sometimes they'll can play way too fast, and you'll see an interception that doesn't need to be an interception because it bounces off a pad or something. So I think there's going to be a couple mistakes in this game. And where's it? It's played in Buffalo, right?
It's in Buffalo, but it's. I was talking to John about this on Wednesday. It's going to be 77 degrees Sunday. Not a cloud in the sky. That's why I really like Miami. I think it's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, man.
Like right now, it's like in the 50s in the city. Yeah. It's been raining all week.
Buffalo's normally 45. It's Buffalo, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be weird. The weather's going to be weird. The teams are going to be weird. But I don't expect like gangbusters scoring. I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes, to be honest with you.
But I mean, Ed Oliver, the defensive lineman, he could knock Tua out, just like the Titans. I don't want this stuff to happen. I'm just telling you. Those
are little things, man. And you knock on wood that
I don't want. I love Tua. I like watching this guy play. I think he's perfect for this offense. Yeah. For the record, folks, I got this from Fox Sports. Buffalo has won 9 of the last 10, but the one that Miami won was last year. It was last year. Okay. And that the last game, like you said, January 15th, 2023, 34-31 Bills win, but that was against Skylar Thompson, the third-string quarterback. So this Mike McDaniel guy, he's got a little something going with this offense there. He's got a lot of these cats buying in with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, man. Yeah, put me down like 32-21, 27, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're picking Miami. I'm picking Miami.
Yeah, I'm picking Miami.
This one's going to be a little different here. I know you're real down on the Giants. Seattle.
They're favored to win this game by like.
They're favored. Yeah. So the Giants are they're underdogs.
Oh, they changed it again.
It's about 1 point.
I was gonna say 1 point.
It's 1.5. Andrew Thomas is out, but they've had a lot of time to prepare. They've been humiliated. And I got a feeling, Seattle's pretty banged up too.
You got the feeling, Robert?
And
what are you, James Brown?
Well, you look at Geno Smith, man.
Oh, man.
I got a feeling that the Giants are going to show up, man. This feels like a 23-20 Giants get the win here, and they get past this losing streak, even without Andrew Thomas, their left tackle. But other than that, they're pretty healthy. I don't know if Barkley will be back or not.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back.
He's been practicing, but limited here, not limited. Even if he don't, I don't think that's.
Can the Giants score 3 points? Can the Giants score 3 times?
Yeah, I mean, I could see him scoring twice and 2 field goals. 7-14. Yeah, 23. Yeah, 23-20.
Oh, man.
See, Pickles even thinks Seattle gets jet lag. Wink Martindale.
I'll take that
and
score.
You know Geno Smith can screw up a free meal, too.
Yeah, I'll take that score, but I'll have Seattle win at the Giants Meadowlands. How about that?
This will be a close game.
I
didn't think the Rams would.
Daniel Jones is going to get 100 yards running sideways.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers returning to MetLife, but he'll need clearance from the doctors. He's been given advice and everything. Any chance the Jets beat the Chiefs this week? That's not part of our pick 'em. That's just casual conversation. Maybe if they knock out Mahomes. I don't want any of this stuff to happen, guys. I want all the quarterbacks to be healthy. I do not like watching backup quarterbacks.
The problem with the Jets winning that game is the Jets don't score more than 7 points a game right now.
That's true. The Jets they score about like a really good baseball team. Yeah. I think the Braves outscore the Jets.
I think that's probably true.
You got anything you need to plug, man, before we wrap it up?
Oh, right now we're in hiatus with the TGI Sports.
Vacation. The big man's on. He's on vacation. What's he taking vacation in football season?
Though, I mean, But he likes it, man. He hits up those islands like he's a pirate.
He must got a good discount to do it in September.
He on that AARP.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going down the Caribbean when it's like 100 below zero. I'm like Jack Hirsch.
I'm gonna give you a quick tip. If you ever want to go when it's hot to a place that's the Caribbean, that's always hot, no matter what time of the year it is, you go to Colombia, man. Go to Barranquilla or Cartagena.
I went to Mexico one year with Austin P in December. We had 4 inches of snow on the ground here, and it was like the middle of July down there. Acapulco.
Yeah, I was not. I went
From the ghetto to Acapulco. Like
I went the year after you.
Huh?
I went the year after you did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hot down there, man.
I'm sure it was hot, Robert. I'm sure it was.
It's 1,000 degrees down there. It was humid too, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it wasn't the food either, Robert.
Man, I was taking them pills and everything. I wasn't drinking the water. I was freaked out.
No, acidophilus. You gotta be careful when you say pills, folks. He's talking about acidophilus pills, man.
Well, yeah. I was trying not to get sick. I wasn't trying to drink that water.
No, you know that
I think Pickles. I think the Techno Geek in Miami, for the record, will win against Buffalo.
Yo, he bringing.
A lot of the national media is picking Buffalo in that game. That's going to be a huge. I'm surprised they didn't flex that out till primetime. I'm so tired of these games being in primetime.
Look, Miami, Buffalo, they trying to make Buffalo seem relevant, and the media just can't let go. Yeah. I'm glad Robert's changed his vibe.
Well, a little bit. I got to call balls and strikes, but appreciate you coming on, man. Have a good week. And everybody, I'll see you all Monday around 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central here
Enjoy your
on
football, peoples.
Sports Scope.